Right, hello. I'm here to show you how to put in some gauges. It's a 3-gauge cluster. I apologise, it's night time. Into a wide body Camry, which is a 93 to 97 model. Okay, now in order to put 3 gauges in, as I've done there, what you need to do is go to the centre console, loosen out those 2 bolts. They're, let's have a look at this. The ratchet, they're 12mm bolts, and you've got to take off the gear knob, unscrews. Okay. Okay, then you've got to take off that flathead screwdriver will do it. Okay, on the back here, don't do it around the front, because across the front there you'll break the tabs. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, pull that like that, pop it up. See those tabs? You'll break them off if you try and take it out from the front. So you take that off. Right, also down here on the side of the console there's two little push pins, I call them. Basically they're like that. You may have different ones. These I've put in myself. What you need is a Phillips head screwdriver in there, and you just screw it out, get your fingernails in, pull out the centre bit, and then you can just actually pull this like so, and the rest will pop out. That's if you've got these. You may have different clips. I do think they were different. Right, now basically the reason you've got to take out the centre console is because with these gauges, the VDO gauges, the 52mm, they come with a white plastic, like a white plastic thing that screws onto the body of the gauge on the back there. You'll see what I mean in a second. Right, now basically, there we go, we've got 2 more screws there, Phillips head. Alright, just be careful when you tighten and untighten these. Just be careful because all you've got, okay, is plastic. It's quite easy to crack. See, you've got two different layers of plastic there. There's no steel before you hit this steel of the actual brace. So you've got plastic, then steel. So they're more for sort of forward and backward movement of the console. Okay, right, there we go. We jiggle that one. You just pull that back, you can jiggle it away. Okay, I might just put those down there so they don't go flying. Now remember, this console's, you'll have a switch here. You may have a switch here, sorry, this is a station wagon. So there'll be wiring holding this piece. So don't just yank it up, because there'll be wiring. Another switch sort of blank there. Okay, you've got that away. Right, now what you have to do is under here, see that Phillips head screw? Okay, pretty straightforward and simple. Okay, now what you can do here is just pull that out. It's got these press-in sort of metal pins and another screw in behind, so 2 on each side. This screw I'm undoing now is the actual console, the centre console to the dashboard assembly. So there we go. Passenger side, of course we're in Australia, so it's right hand drive for all you Americans having a look. Okay, same on the Driver's side again, I apologise, I'm working at night, so I don't have a floodlight. Okay, out we come. Come on, out you come. And mine, I think, has a loose sort of plastic block, I call it, in behind, which holds the actual screw. So what I'm going to do is just give it a bit of a hoik. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now this, I'm not going to pull it fully off the other side there. I'm just going to go in here, and you can see, you might be able to just see in there. There we are, Phillips screw there. That head in the middle of the frame, pretty much. So, if you're careful. Again, I apologise for shonky camera work. Steven Spielberg, I am not. Okay, just manoeuvre your screwdriver in there if you wish. Thin with a long shank, medium head on the screw on the Phillips, and there we go. Out we come. Hear it drop down. There we go. So they're loose. And your centre console's free. Right, we're not going to pull the centre console out fully. It's basically, there's a light there. That's for the ashtray, that light. That's a globe and a cable that's in behind there. There's no real need. You can leave it in. Right, so jigger, or whatever word you guys use. Now what I've done, so I've bought myself an oil pressure, a voltmeter, and a water temp gauge. Now, as you may notice, I already have a water temp gauge on my dashboard. So I've gone out today and purchased, where are you, gauge? A wonderful new VDO oil temperature gauge. Now this is in degrees Celsius. Obviously North America, you got your Fahrenheit gauges. Okay, so I'll show you what I've done. It'll reach up in behind here. Now this might be a bit tricky, just seeing it's just me and the big old ham hands. And yep, I should be able to loosen that off. I'll just set the light up so you can pretty much see what I'm doing. Oh wee, there we go. That wasn't done up that tightly then. Crappy camera work. Bugger, this is just a bit more of a respect for bloody filmmakers, I tell you. Alright, you can turn the gauge out if you hold the plastic sheath in behind. Righto, sorry Benny. It's my cat Ben, he says hi. Don't you, Benny? You say hello? Hello. He's a cool dude. Don't knock the Benny. Okay, so yeah, basically what I've done is I've modified this panel. Now this panel here, again I do apologise for the workmanship of the vision, but this panel here is just one piece. Okay, it runs up there and that's just one piece. You do not have to take off the top here. Now in order to get that out, which you need to do with the other in order to modify, you get a flathead screwdriver and you basically lever it down here. Try not to scratch the face of your stereo, of the panel. Lever it there, lever it on the other side, and the bottom will just pop out. Now what I did, I've got a single DIN hole here, and in your car, if it's standard, will have a little shelf in there. You take this panel out, 4 screws will undo the stereo and shelf as a unit. They come out, and there's 4 screws for the shelf on either side. Remove the shelf. Leave the sides for the stereo, or for the chassis, I should say, and because you need that to hold the stereo up. You also need to undo in behind there 2 leads to the light for the lighter and one to the lighter itself. One's sort of like an L shape and one's just a clip-in pin that you need to press down and pull out. Okay, now what I used here is basically this piece of plastic is my own fill-in panel, this square here. That's off a Canon printer's, the tongue I call it, of a Canon printer, salvaged off the side of the road. So basically you need to shape it to make sure it's not too tall. I think it's 5 centimeters from here to here and 18 across. Now I use just a hand file and like a Dremel tool to drill out little holes and line all this stuff up. I'm sorry I don't have video of that, but I do have some still pictures that you may get an idea of how to do that. Plenty of glue in behind. I put a few tiny little pieces of bracing in behind to make it as strong as I could. And yeah, and you drill the holes equidistant. And you see how you notice down here, these gauges have got to come down just a little below that single din opening. So you can't really put the gauges up the top there unless you drop the stereo down, in which case you'll have to bring the stereo down right down to the edge of this, which probably isn't going to, I mean, it'll work, but it won't sort of, I don't think the appearance will be good, and it will probably compromise the strength of this corner here. So plenty of glue in behind, and yeah, I'm yet to finish this off, so it's just identical, but it's pretty good, I feel. Okay, so I'm going to screw out the middle gauge because I want to have my two oils next to each other, of course. Makes a bit more sense. Once again, I apologise. Sorry for the blackout, it's London in the Blitz. Yeah, right, showing the age. Okay, right, off we go. Here we go. Screw, 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 screw. Okay. Out we come. Alright, so we've got oil pressure, oil temp, oil temp there, oil pressure there, sorry. Water temperature, which I don't need. And oil pressure, oil temperature, which I do need. So I think the oils go next to each other. And put the voltmeter over on the left there. So basically that's a bit of a rundown on just doing the mechanics, so to speak, of the plastics. Once again, I do apologise, I haven't got vision of the video of how to actually make this panel, but like I said, you just get a piece of, you have to drill it out cut it out with a Dremel tool out of a Canon printer tongue or similar plastic, side of an old television. Make sure it's a good 2.5 to 2 mil thick, probably 2 to 3 mil thick. Glue it in place, and then you have to drill it out. I had to drill out little holes. If you've got a circular saw, perhaps you could do that. There is some trimming I didn't mention on the back here of this original panel. You need to trim. You'll see what I mean when it's flipped over. You need to trim away some of the plastic in behind there, just to make sure you've got plenty of room for the base of the gauges, and especially for these. You've got to calculate that these are bigger than the gauges in behind, so that's why that gap's there like that. They've got to sit next to each other. Okay, alright, well thanks for watching my video, and I hope you've learned something, and yeah, good luck with your build.